Greetings, this is Christy from Optimal Wellness, Yoga and More. Here today to walk you through a meditation focused on a lesson that we can learn from the element of water. So I'd like to invite you first to make your way into a comfortable position, maybe seated, maybe lying down. Keeping the spine nice and long and allowing the energy to just flow smoothly through your body. Once you're settled in, I invite you to close your eyes if that feels safe and comfortable. And then take a couple nice deep breaths in through the nose. On the exhale, let everything out with a sigh. Inhale deep through the nose. On the exhale, let it go. One more inhale deep through the nose. And exhale. And with each continuing exhale, you may notice the body start to relax. You might invite it to let go of any tension that it may be hanging on to. And I invite you to connect to the element of water. It's one of the elements that's required for our life here on this planet. And water can teach us so many things. Today, I'd like to focus on the lesson of surrendering. Perhaps the idea of water surrendering brings up some resistance in your mind. That's okay. I invite you to lean into that resistance. Get curious about it. What is that resistance telling you about your own thoughts on the element of water? On your own thoughts about the idea of surrendering? How do you feel about surrender? Does the word surrender bring to mind images of a white flag being waved, someone standing down? In today's society, I think surrender is often paired with the idea of giving up. It sometimes carries with it a judgment of weakness. And I'd like us to challenge those ideas today. When you look at water that's moving in nature, do you feel that that water has given up? Do you feel that that water is weak? I'm guessing those are not words that come to mind as you witness rivers making their way through canyons, spilling their banks, and flooding homes and businesses. the contrary, water is fierce. It's also unrelenting. It's going to continue on its path, nearly unstoppable. Yeah, it might need to divert its path. It may need to move around a big boulder that's in its way. It may need to build up massive quantities behind a beaver dam until there's so much pressure that it just pushes through. But the water keeps going. The water doesn't care where its final destination is. It recognizes that it's part of a natural cycle. It recognizes that as long as it continues flowing, it will slowly erode away, will roughen out the sharp edges, boulders, polish shards of glass. It will even cut banks where there were none before, and even form great gorges like the Grand Canyon. Does any of that seem weak? Does any of that seem like giving up? The contrary, that is water continuing to go about its purpose, just flowing and moving when and where it can, seeking out that path of least resistance so that it may continue moving forward, but not getting hung up on the obstacles in the way. It's surrendering to its opposition, but it's not giving up. It's acknowledging those things that may get in the way of its path. But it perseveres, it keeps moving, it keeps flowing without regard for the boulders or the dams or the presence of banks or no banks to contain it. And it keeps going, knowing it's meant to keep moving. It's meant to keep flowing. But it doesn't need to know where or when it's going to hit that final destination. So what these lessons stands out to you today? Or perhaps you've even come to your own lesson to be learned from the element of water. For surrender and perseverance are not the only lessons this humble element has to teach us. No matter what lesson resonates for you in this moment, you might ask yourself how that lesson may apply. How can you tap into the power of that knowledge and apply it to your life today? I'd like to invite you to visualize what this part of your life would look like if you embraced these lessons from water. I know the word visualize is often associated solely with vision and with images, but I invite you to bring in the physical sensations, the emotions. Maybe you even can bring to mind scents, and taste, and sounds. The more senses you can bring to your visualization, the more powerful it becomes. The less likely the brain is to identify it as a visualization and instead identify it as something truly experienced. So how does it feel to move through your day-to-day life without resistance that shifts to anger and resentments, but instead surrenders? It continues to persist, but in a gentler, less aggressive manner. How does that feel? And I invite you to take this lesson, to take the power of visualization, and to use that to help you set an intention. Now, I like to state my intentions in the form of affirmations, recognizing that if I have been able to think about it and want it for myself, it's already there. So I invite you, when you're ready, to bring your hands to heart center, either placing the hands over the heart or bringing the palms together in front of the heart. And take a moment and set that intention. Maybe it's for the rest of your day. Maybe it's for the rest of the week. Maybe it's for a particular event. And as you set that intention, affirm it by stating it in the present moment. Stating that it is yours, that it exists already. When you're ready, you can relax the arms wherever they feel comfortable. You may flutter the eyes open. And then to just ground yourself back in your surroundings. I invite you to take a glance around. Name 5 things in the space around you. Naming them without judgment. I'd invite you to notice 4 physical sensations. Perhaps the temperature of the room, or the contact of the support beneath you, to name a couple. Next, I invite you to identify 3 sounds near you. Notice 2 scents in the air. And lastly, the taste that lingers in your mouth. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your meditation today. It's always an honor and a privilege. Until we meet again, please be safe and be well. Aho.